I mean, would you define this as your first action comedy film?
Oh, by far, yes.
Okay.
My previous ones are pretty dark.
So I had a chance to watch Freelance, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. I wanted to ask you, after doing movies like, Taken and The Gunman and Peppermint, would you define this as your first action comedy film?
Oh, by far, yes.
Okay.
My previous ones are pretty dark. this one, no, they are. I mean, it's not fun, and this one was I like this one. I picked this one because it was an action comedy, because it was not dark, because the premise feels like it's dark. It's like journalists and dictators in South America, but all this is a fantasy actually, and it's not realistically treated the way I would have treated the previous movies. So it becomes pure action comedies, like in the 80s, like Romancing the Stone or those things. I'm not comparing any of it, but it is in that vein. It's fun. It's a fun ride.
It is. Romancing the Stone's a great reference. That one didn't even strike me when I was thinking about it, but was it Moonlighting or something like that? Like very much that action comedy, you get all that. I wanted to ask, John is just, I mean, he's so funny. He's such a great actor. He can do action, he can do comedy, do all this stuff. The two of you entered the project around the same time. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Well, I think we both read it a little while ago, and then the stars aligned at some point, and we both really go for it. It's the way the movie industry works. Like you have common interest, and then one day the stars align. You happen to be able to work together, and that was the case on this one. Yeah.
The chemistry on screen between him and Allison and Juan is, I mean, it's fantastic. And I noticed that there's just so much sort of like riffing with the three of them, and I was curious if you did a lot of sort of improv moments for them, gave them some space to kind of like toss out some jokes and whatnot.
They tend to do that when the take is over.
Okay.
I mean, they are both three very, very professional.
Yeah.
I think Juan Pablo, who is the dictator, has more latitude in his character to play improv, so he did that well. Mm-hmm. But Allison and John, they're entertainers. They're comedic people from the get-go. They know the timing. They know where it lands. They know exactly how it plays. So they after rehearsing, we got, okay, this is the tone, this is the time, that's great. And then when I say cut, they don't cut. And John continues riffing about stupid things that we have in the bloopers in the end, for instance. But it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun.
Were you excited to get to work with Juan Pablo again? Because I know that you guys he worked with you on Peppermint as well.
Yeah, on a very, very different character too.
Very different, yeah.
Juan Pablo, I knew for all the very serious or dark characters he's been playing, and he was a very mean villain in Peppermint. Mm-hmm. He has such comedic potential. It was fantastic. So we were casting, because it's Colombian, we're supposed to shoot in Colombia. I sent him the script directly and right overnight. And he called me back. We had dinner, and during dinner he was already starting to improvise like how the dictator could be, and he was immediately. We sensed he was the right guy for that. Which again, I was not surprised because I know he has all the chops for that, but I never saw him in a comical part, so it was a very, very good surprise.
Sure. Yeah, I had recalled, Peppermint and Narcos, and I was like, wow, I don't think he's ever really done comedy before either. But like he just is such a natural at it, and his character, the way that he plays that, I mean, so funny. The movie is very funny, but also I want to ask you, there's clearly some like socio-political commentary, I think, that you get to make while being funny. Do you know what I mean? Like while using the humor to kind of be like, hey, this is kind of a real thing that happens around the world.
The underlying message is
this is all fiction.
I wish it ended like that. I wish all the characters were that cool.
What was your thought process on approaching that dynamic of the film?
Again, I think it was all about, as you said, having that underlying message and kind of realistic. There's something real within that. And yes, some like Western countries, multinationals are pulling the strings on many things, and yes, some third world countries are, victims of it somehow. But if you say that harshly, if you say that in a very serious way, it's boring, right? People don't want to hear it, or it's a really totally different film. So I think bringing that through the lens of a comedic, having a comedic approach is actually much more. It lands more. People will listen to it, and they might remember it.
Hopefully, what's that saying? You catch more bees with honey.
That's what they say.
You got a nice big honeypot of a movie here. Listen, Freelance is so much fun. I had a great time watching it. It's out October 27th. People can check it out. Thank you very much.